Morning everybody, week 12 I think, live cooks. Welcome to Meat Smoke Fire. We promised you Saturday night takeaway every week. This week Saturday night takeaway is being sort of dictated a little bit, only a little bit, by UK Barbecue Week. So hopefully you've all been getting involved. I've seen quite a few cooks, quite a few burgers from last week. Today is pizza day for UK Barbecue Week. So get out there and cook your pizzas. We're going to cook some pizza this morning. We're going to cook a couple of other things as well. I'm going to mix it up a little bit today because I want to get cooking, and then I'll come back and do the intros just so that you can see the results. So first of all, we're going to go straight over, and I've made a sourdough bread. So in this Banneton, I've just got tea towels. I couldn't get any Banneton liners, so I've got a sourdough. It's been in there for 2 days, and we're going to cook it. I'm going to move that because I don't want it to stick on the egg. I've seen that done before. But in this egg, I've got the Barbecue Guru. The Egg Genius. Barbecue Guru is another one. Egg Genius on here. The egg is now back in stock with egg. I've got that controlling the temperature. So this is about 230 degrees. And in it, I have Big Green Egg's smallest Dutch oven. So I'm just going to take the top off, put it on there. In fact, I'll put it on a trivet. I'm going to pop this in. This is the tricky bit. Ooh, and then release that. And then all I'm going to do is score the top. So I've got a little razor blade on a stick here. So we're going to score the top, get across, get it scored. Let's make it pretty. I'll put some in the sides. And we're going to put the lid back on. Now, by cooking bread in a Dutch oven, it keeps all the steam, all the moisture from that bread. It will keep all of that inside that Dutch oven. So we're going to do about 20 minutes with the lid on, and then we'll take the lid off. So set a timer for 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes and counting.
Done it. Wow, there's technology. So we're going to leave that. You can see the temperature's dropped down. It will come back, and the Egg Genius will take complete control of that. So we'll come back. Here's one we made earlier, just to check my dough was going to work today. So there's one we've done earlier. This one I actually did in the oven, just because I hadn't got the egg up to temperature by then. But it's exactly the same. What we should get from the egg is all that wood smoky flavour going into the dough. So it should taste better than that one cooked in the oven. Perfect. Right, let's go back over there and do the intros and the normal stuff. So I'm going to grab the camera. So we've got Andy, as usual, on the camera. Yep. Yeah, looking fine. And we've got Helena over here. Morning. Answering all your questions. So she's watching live, seeing all the stuff that's coming up at the bottom. So if I zoom in, you can see them coming up. And so if you want to ask questions, ask away. She'll write them down and she'll shout them out. But there you go, the rest of Meat Smoke Fire. We had questions about the fear this week, so I will answer those on email. But yeah, you can see the rest going on here. So Andy, hand back to you.
Thank you.
So we had one already requested shout out to Neil. Oh, I'm going to get it wrong. Rover Dog Lawrence. Hi Neil. Just getting back into using his egg. We shouted him out a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully that Traeger's off to the side now. He's using that egg. And his brother Andrew up in York is using his as well. So I know Andrew came to the cookery school. Neil lives locally. They both grew up in Cambridge. So shout out to both of them, I guess. Anyone else? Any hangovers this morning? Is Sarah online with a hangover?
Haven't seen.
Okay.
I've
She's
just
got
asked the question.
any hangovers? None here, I don't think. I think we're all good.
All fine.
So if there are any shout outs,
it was a bad night.
Yeah. If there are any shout outs, just let us know. So let's go. So today we're going to cook 3 things and the bread. And they're all sort of pizza related. So first one is a pizza. So if you've got any questions about the setup and how I cook pizza, I will show you how I do it. Yes, I do burn the bottoms occasionally. I've got a technique for that. I can show you that. but we're going to show you normal pizza. We did it a few weeks ago, but being pizza week, we thought we should do it again. But what we're going to do is do 2 desserts using the pizza dough that we've already made to make a dessert. So if you've got any pizza dough left over, then use your egg, set your egg up and cook your dessert on your egg using that pizza dough. So I'm calling those pizzas as well. So there's 2 of those. So let's get straight on and make the first pizza. Helena's smiling away.
I've just connected face to name, and it's Steve, who has got a hangover from the Red Line in Histon.
Oh, Steve from the Red Line in Histon has a...
No.
Oh, behind,
Oh,
yes. Oh dear. Steve has only just got his egg. So yeah, I did see your message, Steve, about the meter. Yes, I must get back to you. Yeah, drop it off any time. So I lent one out to Steve, so he's gone on and bought one. He was so impressed. So right, I have here some pizza dough. Now these are slightly different from the last time we did it. Last time we did with my normal pizza dough. Looks like that. Just a standard white bread dough. Very easy. I made this morning. So you put it in, let it rise. It takes about 2 hours, and then you can use it straight away. And that's what we're going to do for the 2 desserts. But these we're going to give a go. These are sourdough pizza dough. So I've used my sourdough starter. I've had them did them yesterday. They've been proving for about 15 hours, something like that. I balled them up this morning and then put them to rise again as a ball. The point in that is, if you ball them up, and you can do the same with this. I don't necessarily always do it. I just roll it out. But if you ball them up, they will start to rise again, and then it relaxes the glutens in there, so you can push them out by hand, as opposed to that we have to roll out because it's still quite stiff. So I'm going to try and be quite gentle with these, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of flour around the edge of this one just so I can pick it up. But we'll push that one out by hand, and then we'll put some toppings on it. So I'll put how I do the sourdough up. It is a process, and these 2 will probably moan at me for having got into sourdough during lockdown because there's dough everywhere. It sticks to everything. Andy?
Yeah, no, it's messy to clear up.
So we're going to get in. We'll try and lift one of these up. The point in putting the flour around the edge is just to get the scoop underneath. He says ripping the paper. Oh well, I will tear this off. I'm trying to be gentle with it so that all the air doesn't come out of it. That's good enough. And then what we'll do is, when you want to push these things out, you want to push them out onto a flour or something that is doesn't soak up water. So I'm just using polenta, cornmeal. So we'll pop that on there, and then we can start pushing this, and you can see it's quite nice and squidgy, this one. And what we want to do is pull it out a little bit. Maybe we did sourdough last time. I seem to remember flipping it. I want to leave a bit of crust at the side, so I'm not going to stretch that out, but we'll stretch it a bit, and then you can start to flip it in your hand. And all I'm doing is using this bit that goes over the top, a little bit of weight in it to pull itself, to make it a little bit bigger and stretch it. And I'm turning it as I go, so I'm turning. Does that make sense? So now you see, if I put it down, it should be a little bit bigger, and we can stretch it out a bit more. I'm going to flip it over and get a bit of cornmeal on the other side. A little bit more. Now the cornmeal, and you can see the air bubbles in this. The cornmeal will add a little bit of crunch on there as well. So I love it on there. Or polenta, cornmeal. Right, so I'm quite happy with that. I think that's a decent small pizza. This ball of dough was 250 grams. So let's push it out a little bit more. That's 250 grams when it's made. There is an excellent app, and I talked about it before, called Pizzapp, P-I-Z-Z-A-P-P. And that will tell you all the ingredients to get it so it's exactly 250 grams. So, right, I have my sauce. Now this is up on my website, so yeah, some people would just use tomatoes. I put a bit of garlic in it. I chucked some chili in it this morning just to fire it up a bit. So we'll get some tomato, push it up towards the edges but not right over. Any questions, Helena?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, don't forget to ask questions, guys. I'm going to put in some buffalo mozzarella. Now, I've chopped it up earlier so some of the liquids come out. I don't mind it being a little bit liquidy. Some people don't like that and they use the grated stuff. I prefer this. So a little bit liquid in there, but just don't overdo it. Pizza is, less is more when it comes to toppings on pizzas. So we're going to get those in.
Yes, we're just having a little ongoing discussion about favourite toppings.
Okay.
So, Lucy
Yep.
Mackay has just asked, do you use tomatoes or passata?
Tomatoes, tinned tomatoes. So I'm just going to get a bit of tissue. Bring it over here. You could use, you could quite happily use passata. I use tinned tomatoes.
Do you know what the difference is?
They're just whizzed up.
Okay.
Right, yesterday evening we got a bit of glut of rocket in our garden, so I made some rocket pesto. So I'm just going to put a few dollops of, move that out of the way, Andy. Bit of rocket pesto on there. I'm going to keep it fairly simple. Bit of pesto, and then I'm going to only put one more topping, a little bit of yellow peppers. Perfect. Right. So we have an egg that's sitting at about 350 degrees over there. I have the plate setter in feet up. That's the way I do it. That's feet down, that's feet up. Plate setter feet up. As long as you've got a good clean egg, you will easily get it to that sort of temperature. I've then got the stainless steel grid on top and then a pizza stone on top of that. If you want, you could use the convector for an extra layer. I'll show you that in a second. But we're just going to pop this one in. I think you all saw me use this before. This is a super peel, but any other pizza peel works. This you just sort of scoop under like that. It makes it really easy. So we'll go over. So we're just under 350. I haven't got the top fully open. I'm going to burp my egg, open it up, and then pop that onto the stone. Now, if your stone is too hot, you've burnt the bottom of a pizza, just wipe it with a piece of towel, but with a little bit, and I'm going to pull it shut, towel with a little bit of water on it, so damp towel. I've never broken a pizza stone doing it. I'm not saying that's the official method, but it works for me, so you can give that a go. Now, this is only going to take a couple of minutes. So temperature's coming back now. We shut the lid. About 5 minutes on this one. Okay. This egg, sitting at just under 200. I'm going to open it up. I want 200, so I'm going to open it a tiny bit. We have, again, baking stone in there. So this is a great cook to do. Same thing. Convector plate setter feet up, stainless grid, and then your baking stone on top. If I grab a glove, I can show you, because I've got it in the expander basket, so I can lift it all up so you can see exactly the setup there. I'll put that back in. So this is set up 200 degrees, and that's as your egg cools down after you've cooked all your pizzas, then you can do a couple of these desserts. So that's what we thought we'd do. Right. So let's just clear this polenta up. Any questions? It's all right, they can't tell me off while I'm on camera. Well, they probably can. Right, so I can use that. Right.
Oh, I tell you who has joined today.
Who's joined today?
Miles from the Gogs.
Hey Miles. Miles, my trusty butcher from the Gogs. If you ever want superb meat, and you're in the Cambridge area, go and see the guys at the Gogs. Go and speak to Miles or Jack, or any of the team, to be fair. Their meat is amazing. So, right. So I'm going to pretend this is leftover dough. So I'm going to use my normal cook. You can see I've just knocked the air out of it. It's gone nice and flat now. So I'm just pulling it into a round, and then we're going to cut a bit off, and we're going to make a dessert. So what should we say? Something like that? Don't know how much that is. It's about that much.
So someone has said, obviously, they're struggling to get hold of
Baking stones.
baking stones. Any alternatives to the big green egg one that work in a big green egg?
Yeah, don't go buying the cheap ones that you can get from cook shops. They're really thin, and more than likely you'll break them your first or second cook. So it's a bit of a false economy. I know they're only like 12 or 15 quid, but 12 or 15 quid per cook is quite a lot.
So someone said use a skillet instead.
You could do, yeah. So you can get cast iron pizza stones. I've never seen one, but yeah, you could use a skillet. So I'm trying to think where I put that yesterday. But a normal skillet, you could flip it over, and I don't know how smooth the back is. I'll go and grab one in a second.
So
Don't forget the pizza.
Franco says he's
Done that, has he?
Yeah.
Thank you, Franco.
I've just asking if he's flipped it.
Yeah, I'd cook on the back rather than try and get the pizza, trying to turn it upside down, so you're not trying to get under the rim. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't forget your pizza, Nick.
Oh yes, pizza. Good plan. Thank you, people. Let's have a little look. Oh, I'd say you were spot on, Andy.
Thanks. It's because I've been here a while.
Yeah.
I've learned.
What do people think? I'm gonna. Yeah, if you're getting a bit closer, the white balance will change. Or I can just flip the bottom up so you can have a look. Not burnt, lovely and crispy. I'd say that is a damn good pizza.
Oh, that's a high five then.
High five.
Thanks. Cheers. Time for me to go now, I reckon.
Yeah.
So someone else said in the skillet, you just line it with a bit of paper, and that would make it easier.
Yeah, you could lift it in and out with a bit of paper, a bit of baking paper, but that is a quality looking pizza.
I don't mind testing it.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I'll move my dough out the side then. Get that out of the way. I do have a. In fact, do this.
Smells mighty fine.
One pizza for the typist. Why not? Yeah. Beat hot.
Oh.
How is it?
Oh. Yeah.
Right, so I'm just getting a bit of dough. It's not the perfect shape, but it'll be good. Rolling it out fairly thin. You can see the bubbles in here from where it's been proving this morning. So I'll get it nice and thin. Did I finish my bit on Miles and the Gogs?
I think you did.
Yeah, if you're ever in Cambridge today, superb meat. It's a shame they don't do mail order, because you'd all be buying from them.
I think it is Joseph, isn't it? Our pizza company.
Yes, Joseph. Big Green Egg do one. It's on their website. It's I think it's identical, just without the Joseph logo on it. So, right. Now we haven't done this in a long time, but it should be kind of nice. Do you reckon that's a good enough shape, Helen?
Yeah, that's fine.
A bit wider.
A little bit wider.
These two recipes I will write up afterwards. We haven't done these in a long time. So, right, piece of dough, nice and flat. I'm just going to get my ingredients. People have been asking for desserts for weeks. So, Andrew, I know it's not the tart tatin you've been after. Oh, look at that, brand new Nutella. My favourite bit, opening it. Oh. Right. Oh, camera lady's going in for some. Should have warmed it up a little bit. But we'll...
Oh, that's good.
That's them eating pizza, not the Nutella.
Yeah.
Don't think Andy actually likes Nutella, do you, Andy?
I don't mind in this pudding.
Right, being quite generous here, but We need a bit of gooiness in there. This will be superb for kids. Right, I reckon good enough, Helena? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of Nutella, some fresh raspberries. So we're just going to put a few of those in here. I think that's probably enough.
Sorry, I probably just realised they can hear me crunching.
It doesn't matter. Paul will be
keep
commenting.
talking.
Yeah, Paul White
Keep
will be
talking,
commenting.
then
Yeah.
you won't hear me.
So now all I'm going to do is flip it over and a bit like a Swiss roll. Roll it all up. Get it like that. Now keep one end sealed and then get a knife and just chop it in half. Like that. Bit there. Bit missing. And now all we're going to do, once we've chopped it in half, bit link there, is just roll it over itself. This is messy work, but it'll be good. Okay, so it's just a twist, and you can start to see the raspberries. I could have cut that a bit nearer the end. Let's do that. Just to twist it up a bit more. And then what I want to do is bring it round into a ring shape and just sort
Paul White says, crunch away, Andy, I'm well gel.
and then just pull the ends together and squeeze them together. Okay, so we now got a little ring. Now what I need to do, little technique here, I'm going to use some baking parchment. When you've got a bit of baking parchment, the width is roughly the size of your baking stone, so I'm going to do that. Fold it in half again. Now that corner, just keep folding into that corner. So we'll do it one more, fold it into that corner again. I've got stuff all over it. And then what I can do, there we are, pair of scissors. It's like Blue Peter this, isn't it? Cut like that. Keeps the stone shaped. How's that? Now, I'll put a knife on there just to hold it. I'm going to get my perhaps I won't. See if I can get underneath, get it onto there, get my knife out of the way.
And then you just sprinkle it with a bit of demerara.
Yep, so we get that on our pizza stone. Got a bit of demerara sugar here because this isn't naughty enough already. Okay. Okay, use my pizza peel, take this over to our egg, slightly too hot but we'll knock it down a bit. There we go. And in it goes, and that wasn't a bad guess on the size of a pizza stone, was it? So pop that in, shut the lid, and that's going to take 10 or 15 minutes, something like that. Maybe a bit longer, we'll see. Right. That one, I'm just going to wash my hands, Andy. How long?
30.
Oh, I'm going to need another egg. 30 minutes apparently.
You can use the first one.
Yeah, I'll use this one. I've done them the wrong way around. The other dessert was a 5-minute dessert and now I've done a 30-minute dessert. Anyway, we'll let this cool down a tiny bit. What I will do, I'm going to take the pizza stone out because that is very hot. I need another glove. Sorry Andy, I'm all over the show. Keeping you on your toes. Take that out, and what we're going to do, that's nice and white, nice and clean. I'm going to do the next dessert in the top of this Dutch oven. And so putting something cold in there should bring the temperature down a little bit. It'll take a little while for that to warm up, so I'll turn this right down. All good. You can see the temperature's already dropping, so we'll get the other dessert ready in a minute. Now, the bread, my alarm just went off, so let's go and have a look. So the second half of the cook of the bread is done with the lid off. So hopefully this has risen. Look at that beauty.
Boom.
I'll put my Dutch oven on the floor out the way. So now we're going to do another 20 minutes, top off the Dutch oven, lid shut, and you'll have a beautiful sourdough loaf. Right, last dessert. I'm going through these really quick. That's not going to be ready, is it, by the time?
That's all right.
I might have, if it's not ready, I'll
Oh, you can make me more pizza.
make you more pizza. No, because I'm using the egg now for the other dessert.
I'll
So
eat the other pizza.
let me just clean this down a little bit. Scraper I was looking for, but that'll do.
Do you want me to have it?
No, I've got it here somewhere. Just don't want Nutella all over the next one. Now, who likes Chelsea buns?
Yes.
Hooray. So we're going to have a go at, I'll use the other half of this, so I need pretty much the same shape. Let me just dry that down a tiny bit. Get some flour on it. So we've got another bit of dough. We're going to do something very similar. And again, this could be, you know, pizza dough that you haven't used. Might need a bit less than this. We'll see how we go. Might just make lots of them.
Make one out into
Yeah.
a long film.
Yeah. You can see Helena's joining in here. I don't do the dessert cooking. Helena does all of that. So again, we want this fairly thin. So probably pound coin thickness, something like that. We want it
Long
long.
but thinner.
I know. Look how vocal she is now. That
With a mouthful of
time.
pizza
Yeah.
as well.
We'll do some more pizzas after we go off. Alright, how's that looking? A bit more flat. Look at this
Oh,
end.
do we need to set a timer for the bread?
Yeah, roughly. We'll have a look in a few minutes. See how we go. Right. Is that Paul telling us that?
No, that was just me. Multitasking.
Any shout outs? Any questions?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Sorry. No.
I asked her that just because she just put it in her mouth. Just get the other ingredients. So not quite a Chelsea bun, but something equally as scrummy. Right.
Cocoa garnish is joined.
Morning Coco, just joined us from London. Her baking is amazing. Just missed the sourdough, thank God for that. If you go on to Coco Varney on her feed, some excellent sourdoughs, some excellent breads, so do have a look at that. What we've got here, we've got some green raisins, some normal raisins, some sultanas,
Currants.
some currants and
Cranberries.
and these have been soaking overnight. You can probably see it in there. Can you see?
There's not much left, is there?
No, soaking overnight in some
Rum.
some spiced rum.
What egg have you cooked the Nutella thing at? Is it 200?
Yeah, it's about 200, just over. In fact, I need to go and turn it down a tiny bit. So we're going to put a sprinkling of these. Keep an edge. Keep them away from the edges because we're going to fold those in on the one edge, on the back edge. Oh, you can see the rum in there. This is going to be boozy. Look at that, it's almost perfect.
Oops.
Perfect. Just wipe my hands. So we've got some rum in there. Next, we are going to just some Brabants. I'm just going to grate those in. Try not to grate the pips in, which I've just done, but anyway.
Oh, I can smell that fruit now.
Yeah, fruits. Well boozy. I think that's probably enough. And we're going to roll that again. So you want these fairly tight. Just going to use a bit of the rum just so it sticks, just as water. Could use water, but since I've got the rum about, no point wasting it. So we've got all of that. Now I'm going to chop them. Just wipe this down. It's all right. I'll get a fresh one. And we're going to use that idea that somebody said a minute ago, putting it on a piece of baking sheet thing. So I'm going to take the ends off because there's very little in those, and then we're going to chop them into about an inch.
Need to warm up some of that apricot.
Yeah, it's a big one on the end. Helen's just reminded I need to warm up some apricots, so I'm just going to put a bit of apricot jam into a little egg. It's their basting pot. Sorry, Co-op was all we could get last night. Might put a bit more in. Whoops. See why she doesn't like me cooking desserts, it all gets really sticky. You should have seen the two of them last night when I covered them in barbecue sauce. Right, I'm just going to pop that in just to warm up. Done. Let's have a look at what this one's looking like.
Oh, might have just made everyone dizzy.
Yeah, sorry people. That's me charging around. Oh, look at that puffing up. And I reckon we might get this done before the end of the class. Right. So, I'm going to get another bit of baking parchment. Could have made myself a bit more space on the board, but I'm going to get these in very much like if you've ever seen them making what do you call them, Chelsea buns. It's just like this. Get them all in, get them tight with each other. Now these, because they're only small, are supposed to cook really quickly, so hopefully they'll be ready for you.
Nick, you've been outed by your wife
Oh, what she said.
about your antics last night in the kitchen.
Oh yeah. Well, we were doing the big green egg pit cube box, which is fabulous, by the way. We were doing the big green egg pit cube box and doing the first recipe from it, which I was doing, which was Deadpool Pork. So you actually get a vac pack pre-cooked pulled pork, which is kind of cool. So we heated that up. We heated up their buns, or grilled their buns, and then you're supposed to put the barbecue sauce on the buns, and you cut the end of the barbecue sauce off. And of course, I got a bit stuck in it. I said, squeezing it. I said, I'm sure this is going to go in a second, and boom! I covered the kitchen. Helena, I think you got away with it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I'm going to put some. Oh no, I need to get my jam. Let me just go and grab my jam. Stay where you are, Andy. It's warmed up a bit. Could have done with a little bit more, but we're going to run out of time. So,
You're doing fine, you're only at 5 past.
yeah, we'll finish at 1:15. Bit of apricot jam over the top just to give it some stickiness. To go with all that booze. Oh, these smell delicious. Look at that. We're going to overrun today, but I think it'll be worth it. I forgot to set the timer for the second bit of the loaf, but we'll get there. Look at those. And then a little bit of demerara sugar. Now we've mixed this with a bit of cinnamon. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over.
Probably don't need all of it.
Just a bit more. And then finally, a bit of orange zest. smells delish already. Perfect. Right, let's go and get those in. That pot should have started warming up. I'm going to lift them to start with on a pizza peel, so let me just grab it.
Coco's just said Andrea's never going to leave with the food that we're cooking.
Yeah, right. Over we go. Burp it. It's still really hot. Get that in there. It doesn't matter if the paper's over a bit. It'll burn, but we're not worried about that. Or you can hear them going already. Lid shut. Open the top because it now wants that heat back. Perfect. Right, let's have a look.
12 minutes left, Paul says.
Well, the loaf? No.
Probably not bad, yeah. Probably about right.
40 minutes? Yeah, probably about right. Let's have a little look. Probably shouldn't do this, but... Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, that is looking good. Now, the beauty of this, and I'm going to shut it quickly in a second, the beauty of the little big green egg Dutch oven is it holds it, that is a normal banneton, and it's exactly the same size as that banneton, so it stops if your dough's quite wet, which a sourdough is, it stops it going out sideways and all the rise goes upwards. So you end up with this lovely tall loaf, even if you're not a sourdough expert. I'm pretty pleased with that. I think we'll go and cut it. Let's take it over.
Something else for me to crunch on.
Yeah, let me just clear a couple of things out of the way, and then we'll grab me a drink while we're at it.
Coco says magnifique, that loaf.
Oh, thank you, Coco. She is the bread queen. From everything I've seen, I've never talked to her, not yet, but I've watched her Instagram feed. Well, not with that one because that's one I'm about to use. Let's just get this jam out of the way. There.
Don't throw that on the floor.
I am. No, I won't throw that on the floor. I am so messy. Let's just give it a little wipe down before we go.
Okay, so
Questions?
Tim has got 2.5 kilos of short ribs for tomorrow. To cook at 125 until, to cook at 125 till internal of 95. Any rough estimates on length of cook?
I'd go slower, so I'd go at 110. It's my preferred way. If you wrap when it's coming out of the stall, so your meat is going to rise. It'll get to about 75 degrees, and then you'll see the temperature just flattens off the stall. If you let it, if you wrap once you start coming out of the stall, you should be done in about 7 hours, something like 7 or 8 hours.
Do we know what time we put those things in?
Yeah, we'll go in a sec. So 7 or 8 hours, Tim. If you don't wrap it, which I don't, it's going to take you about 10 hours. Now, if you don't wrap, you may dry them out slightly. Lovely. Anyway, but yeah, it's one of those things. So wrap or not wrap, it doesn't really matter. It's just protecting the bark a little bit. Salt and pepper is all I put on my short ribs. Should be good. Any other questions, Helen?
How long to cook the buns for?
Those things.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do about 10 minutes. The recipe, she's laughing at me because the recipe is actually to cook them in a totally different way. So she set me up. I've never done them before. So that's why she's laughing. Hopefully about 10 minutes. Anyway, let's have a look at this. I need a better bread knife. Oh, I'd say. I'm happy with that. Yeah? Everyone happy with that?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you need to check either of the...
Yeah, I'm going to have a check.
dessert?
I'm going to have a drink first. Any questions while we're drinking?
No, that was the only one I had, I think. Hang on a minute, I'm just going back through to have a look.
Last day of UK barbecue week tomorrow, roast. Sunday roast. So, but you know, tweak it a bit, grow some fish, do something different. Somebody asked me this week about a recipe for fish, and I must reply. If you're on, apologies, it's been a bit of a weird week. So, all right, let's have a look. Oh, I'm going to say that is done. Lovely, gooey. Yeah, that's done in my book. So let's just tidy up a couple of things for a second, so that doesn't look like I've been in the kitchen.
Okay, so someone says pulled pork, wrap or not, 1.7 kg, rough time as well.
Pulled pork, wrap or not, 1.7 kilograms, rough timing. Yes, 1.7 kilos is pretty small, so I would wrap that. Wrap it again after you've got to the stall. I'll take this one off. The kids, if you've got kids, are going to absolutely love that. Now you can put some jam over the top. Raspberry jam, that's what we're supposed to do.
No, you're supposed to slice it and serve it as bread.
Oh, serve it as bread.
Jam.
Well, I'm going to let it cool a second, so I'm happy with that. I reckon our loaf is probably almost there, so let's take our rack.
Okay, so Steve.
I'm going for that. I'm going to say that's done. I didn't time the second half, but it's got a nice. Now, what I do, get under with a set of tongs and lift it up. Have a look at the bottom. Lovely. 2 beautiful sourdoughs. I'll put them down this end, Andy, for you. It says probably drop them now.
Nick, we didn't finish off. Rough time on the pork.
Oh, sorry, rough time. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Rough time on the pork. If I'm doing a 3 kilo or bigger, I'd say I always start 24 hours before I want it. And by doing that, if it's ready early, I can then just wrap it in foil, wrap it in old towels, and put it in a cool box, and it will stay hot. If you're going to do 1.7 kilos, I'm going to say 12-ish hours. It all depends on how long it is in the stall. If you're 4 hours before you need to eat it and you haven't come out of the stall, wrap it at that point, and that will speed it through and give you a little bit of time to rest it at the end. So I'm going to say 12 hours on a 1.7 kilos, but do wrap it because you want to keep some of that moisture in. I'd add a little bit of juice in there. You stand the chance of drying it out. You're aiming for an internal temperature of 88 and above. Before that, it will be tough. You need to get it hotter so that it will just the connective tissue will start to break down, and it'll be soft and gooey. Before that, it'll be tough and dry. If you take it off and it's tough and dry, and you haven't got to 88 degrees, it's because you haven't cooked it long enough. A lot of people do that their first time and then go, "Oh, thank God we didn't cook it any longer. It'd have been awful." Actually, cooking it longer makes it better, and it melts all that connective tissue. So yeah, probably 12 hours, something like that.
So Steve from
Yeah.
Histon
Steve from Histon.
says, okay, he's cooking lamb shoulder at 110,
Yeah, lamb shoulder 110.
and he says that the meat says it's only 3 to 4 hours, and he was expecting 8.
Yeah, 8 or 10 hours. Yeah, don't worry. Using the meter in the lamb, doing a lamb shoulder, what you'll find is with all these bits of meat, and if you come to one of the classes, you'll see this, the temperature rises quite rapidly and then it'll slow down. And the meter, if you're using one of those thermometers, it's really difficult for it to know how long that stall's going to be. So it will rise, it will go flat and so on. You might need 10 hours for that. So don't worry that it's saying it's 3 hours, it won't be 3 hours. Having said that, somebody last night, I've seen on one of the forums, Clive, I think it was, I told him that, his big bit of pork shoulder should take anywhere up to 19 hours. It cooked in 12. You cannot tell. One bit of meat is, they're all different. Unfortunately, you just have to get used to it. So I'm going to this egg, Andy.
Mm-hmm. I can smell them.
Oh! I reckon a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry about all the paper gone crispy around the edges. They are looking lush. What do you think?
Smell good.
Yeah, another couple of minutes. How are we doing on time?
12:15.
Right, so let's chop up a bit of this. If I can get it off the paper. Oh yeah. In fact, let's just chop this. Oh, it's hot. Any volunteers to test this one?
I can't.
No, I'm just showing you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was like, I do want to try it, but
yeah, really gooey.
Okay, so someone's asked tips for getting pizza off the peel onto the stone. Unfortunately, they managed to butcher one in the process last
Yeah,
night.
use polenta like we did underneath. That will allow it to slip. Oh, it's hot. Use polenta or rice flour underneath your pizza, not normal flour. Normal flour will soak up the moisture and it'll just get sticky. Polenta doesn't get sticky, so use polenta underneath your pizza base and it will just fly off. Sorry, this is great. Any other questions while I'm stuffing myself?
No, I don't think so. I'm just going through. Your brother and Annie are on.
Hey Chubby, hey Annie. Not my finest. Right, I'll wipe myself down and get these off.
Yeah, and semolina also works when on the pizza peel.
Right. Yeah, so I'm got a mouthful of that. That is delicious. Oh, I've cut it up. We haven't taken any photos. We need to take photos for the recipe. Don't let me forget. Yeah, any flour so semolina, polenta, rice flour, they all don't soak up moisture very quickly, so they're all really good at going under your pizza, and so you can lift it off really easily. Make sense?
So someone's doing pork ribs tomorrow. Do you use the 3-2-1 process?
Yes, I do. 3-2-1 is a great recipe for. Sorry, the question, if you didn't hear it, was somebody's doing pork ribs. Let's not burn these. Another minute. Somebody's doing pork ribs, so rack of ribs. 3-2-1 method. It means 3 hours straight on your egg, indirect. So you've got your baking, your plate setter in there, feet up, stainless steel. So 3 hours direct, 2 hours wrapped in foil, spritzed with some apple juice or apple cider vinegar or something like that, and then 1 hour unwrapped at the end. Don't put your barbecue sauce on till right at the last minute. Barbecue sauce burns. Yeah, it's got tomatoes in it, lots of sugar, so only ever put that on right at the very end. But you might want to adjust those timings. So I find 3-2-1 that the 2 in the middle is the bit where it steams the ribs. It actually overcooks them, so I actually shorten that. So I tend to do 3.5, 1.5, 1, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Right, keep leaving my gloves behind. Stay where you are, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon, as pizzas go, that is a triumph. And we've got to let them cool down, but don't worry about the paper around the edge. This is going to get hot, so I'm going to put it down for a sec, and I'm going to move it over to the table. In fact, let me get my trivet. And there we go. One on the edge is slightly burnt, but the rest are looking stunning. So that's what to do with your leftover pizza dough. Make fruity, boozy, Chelsea Bunish style pizzas. I think that's a triumph for Pizza Week. Any other questions? We've got the dough out, we've got those out. That's 4 cooks in just over 45 minutes. So
I just posted. Anyone got any questions?
if not, feel free to ping me a note during the week. I'm around all week this week. Apart from one day where I'll go and play golf with Carlos. Hopefully Carlos is on.
Yes, he is.
Good, better luck next week, Carlos. Bit rude.
Rude.
Yeah, those lessons will pay off one day. yeah, just feel free to get in contact. Nick at Meat Smoke Fire, so that's NIC at meatsmokefire.co.uk. Otherwise on Instagram or on Facebook or on anything else.
So someone else has said, can you just remind them of the temp for the pizza?
Temp for the pizza, I did it at 350. You don't need to get it round to 400 roaring. 350 works fine. You saw, look at the crust on this. Now this was a sourdough.
It was a whole pizza, but Helen has eaten.
Yeah. Where's our half, Andy? There's yours. Where's mine? Or there's mine. Where's yours? But yeah, this is sourdough, so you do get that lovely browning on the edge. But it will work perfectly with a normal dough as well. So 350, you don't need to get it at 400. It just takes a little bit longer. But I think you get better results. So yeah.
Don't forget the quiz invites.
Quiz invites, thank you, Paul. Yes, I will invite all the skiing buddies that we ski with to the quiz tomorrow night. But yeah, feel free to get in contact. Lots of things are now starting to come back into stock, apart from the baking stones. Oh, the other question, somebody did talk about using the skillet. The other thing you can use is the Half Moon baking stones. So if you've got these with the expander system, there is one pizza stone, and it does work fine. It just gets a little hot on the edges. So you can use one of those, two of those. So if you've got the expander system and only one of these, buy another one and you can have a pizza stone. Which hole did that one come out of? We'll find out. So yeah, right. I think I'll call that a day unless there's anything else, Helena.
No.
Next week. Well, we're sort of. Do you want to do these? Feedback to us. Do you want us to keep doing these every week, or shall we now switch to? It's holiday season. If you're going away, do you want us to switch to every other week? What other themes would you like? I think Saturday night takeaway's done now. I know we've had requests for tarte tatin and fish, and I really want to do the fish one. So let me know what you'd like the next cooks to be. I think fish is definitely up there. Some whole fish and some squid. I'd love to do some squid, show you a great squid recipe. But yeah, feedback, let us know whether you want us to keep doing these weekly. It might start to get difficult, but we'll see. Eventually Andrea on the camera might move out, you never know.
Yeah, could be my last one.
No, we'll get her back every Saturday. She only lives 15 minutes away. Well, when she lives 15 minutes away, she only lives 15 minutes away. So just let us know.
So probably had 10 people already say every week.
Oh, okay. So it looks like every week then. No, that's fine. Let's do it. We've got
a photo bomb.
Hello. There's one. My neighbour leading over. Anyway, so yeah, just let us know what you want. Feed it back on the page. Yeah, and let's see what you want to do. So, photobombed, brilliant. On that note, have a great week, and looking forward to seeing what you cook in terms of pizzas and so on. Cheers.